Hi guys, I thought I'd just take you through my new little home office. I did on a budget. Basically we had this little hallway downstairs with a little entranceway that we never ever used. In fact, this was just full of junk, kids' bikes, you know the drill. So actually after we did our house upstairs, I thought this would be a great use of the house. We never really had a dedicated office space. And you know, to me this suited a home office. It was a pretty great environment for a home office. It's downstairs, so very quiet from the rest of the house. You can see up there's a hallway to the rest of the house. And despite not having any doors on, it's actually very quiet down here, even with the kids watching TV and whatnot. So it's worked out very well for us. It's basically unused space, so that was free. All of this has probably cost me about $300 altogether, obviously excluding all the computers and monitors and whatnot. And I managed to reuse a lot of the stuff I had in storage that I just never found a use for. So I thought that was great. We had this old lamp, which I just bought a lamp shade for from Bunnings and sort of cleaned up a bit. And that probably cost me $20. That light there used to be gold or bronze, fake bronze. So I just spray painted it, took it off the wall, of course. I think the nicest feature where we spent a bit of money is this blue Ortex paneling. You can actually, it's got a lovely feel to it. You can see here. You can actually use it as a pinboard if you want. They use it a lot in school classrooms. But I managed to get they usually sell in 4 square meter boxes, but I managed to get a good deal. So this only cost me $120, which and probably maybe a day to put all of that up. The worst part's obviously cutting around the light fixtures and all that. It's not quite as easy as you might think. It's got a sticky back. You just paste it to the back of it. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice and planning, but I got it right eventually. So that just sort of warms up the space. It helps with acoustics, but also, you know, if you want to use a pinboard, you can. So that was about $100. I think if you guys probably bought that at retail, you're probably looking over $200 for that. But again, you probably get 4 square meters, which this is, sorry, I think there are 8 square meter boxes. Yeah, perhaps not 100% correct in that one, but anyway, there's a lot more in a box than you need, than I needed anyway, so I managed to get this small lot and do it on the cheap. Like I said, lighting, very important. And so we managed to get that done. We've got that all set up. There's no ceiling lights in the space. It's an old textured ceiling. It's not asbestos, it's actually plasterboard, grit, or whatever you want to call it. We've had it tested. I quite like my little art piece, my little Lego Ferrari, and these are some leftover chamfered block boxes I had. One important detail when you're doing your office is cable management. So I bought these little Grommets from Bunnings. I think they cost me less than $10, maybe $5 for the actual grommet, and you can adjust them and close them off if you're not using them. It's a good way to bring cables up, especially because this is closed off on 3 sides, so you'll end up with cables everywhere if you don't do that. But it's also big enough if you can actually pull this off and get the plugs down there, so it's good. Probably the dearest part of this is I didn't actually have the hole saw that matched this, and it was a 50mm. So I had to get a special hole saw for that, which cost me about $30. So that was probably the most expensive cost. This is acacia, which is I think an Australian hardwood, and basically got this little bench pre-finished and everything from Bunnings. I think it was about $90, and I just screwed on. It's not very pretty, but I screwed on some timber battens and fixed them to the wall and glued and screwed them down, this panel down. So it's relatively good. You've got to make sure your height's all set correctly. Yeah, as you can see, Then I guess on the IT side of things, I found these old speakers out from here. They're about 20 years old, but they're the old analog, nice Logitech speakers with a nice big subwoofer. You can see they've got total surround sound. There's another speaker behind this screen, and one up there. And I've actually taken two of the speakers through to the garage as well, through that wall. But they were analog, and I brought it up to the 20th century, so I bought this Logitech Bluetooth receiver. So that connects, all my devices can connect to this via that receiver. That was about $40. So I think on like IT infrastructure, including this, was probably around about $100 a lot. That was about $48. And then I bought a little booster, which you can see attached to that multi-plug. That was, I think around about $50 as well, maybe 70. So that brought us up into the 20th century, I guess. Worst part of this is cable management, particularly with the speakers, because you've got all these little things. So I'm trying to clean those up, so it's a bit messy under there. I got this power box from Bunnings also. That was about $20. It's got 6 ports, and it's also got USB, which is handy. Updated that power socket. That's also got built-in USB and 2 power sockets. So that was luckily all here already, so I didn't have to get an electrician for that. Yeah, so that's my office. It's been very well. The other thing I've done, because you're on Teams, people want to see, excuse that needs to be tied up. They want to see a bit of artwork, so waif of Kanagawa, which I got off AliExpress. I think that cost me about $5 with the frame, which I bought here in New Zealand. There was an old wedding present someone gave us. I think it's a Fijian wall mask or something, so we managed to get that up there. So at least it's something a bit different on my background when I'm doing my Teams talks and all that. People might look at my wall. We also, this wall, it probably looks a bit better on the camera. It used to be wallpaper. My wife actually just painted it out with white paint, but you can see some of the corners there were a bit rough, so I might have to put some sort of trim over that. I might see this black trim up here? That was another little thing I did just to clean up the edge with the Ortex panel. That was just a black, it was actually a aluminium angle that I bought from Bunnings. I bought some black screws, so it's not obvious where it's screwed in. Unfortunately, it was literally, I think this wall's like 2.1 meters wide, and that panel comes in 2 meters, these channels come in 2 meter length, so there's a little piece there that I put in just to make it up, so you can't see it really. But yeah, so that's just my my budget home office. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's obviously a work in progress. Got to clean that up. And I think as well, I'll probably get a desk mobile in here. But yeah, overall, it's a nice little space to work from. Cheers, bye.